In the spring of 1971, I was very lucky to get a job on a king crab boat. This was the early days of Deadliest Catch. Well, it was the end of February, and we had to travel up the Alaska coast to Dutch Harbor, a trip of about 2,000 miles. And, of course, in my naive way, I just figured that we'd have a nice drive up the Alaska coast to Dutch where we'd start fishing. But the second day out of Seattle, we got into some very rough weather in Hecate Straits, and it was a very sobering reminder of what, traveling on the North Coast in winter can be like. But the really sobering thing happened a few days later when about midnight, when we were off of a place called Cape St. Elias, something woke me up. And I lay there in my bunk thinking, what was it that woke me up? And then I realized something's different about the boat. The engine was slowed down, but the thing was, we were rolling really slowly. The motion of the boat had changed dramatically. So I got up, dressed, went up into the pilot house, and what I saw there was just absolutely terrifying, because a cold, bitter cold wind had come up, and our whole boat had iced over with freezing sea spray. And the effect was to raise our center of gravity so that actually we were in danger of capsizing. One of the problems was that on deck, we, like many king crab boats traveling north, had several layers of crab pots stacked. And these acted to, catch the freezing spray and, accumulate ice very heavy and high up on the boat. So we suited up in long underwear, rain gear, gloves, boots, wool hats, and we went out with baseball bats and hammers to knock the ice off, just to reduce our center of gravity so that we could safely continue. And, here's the scene. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's black. It's rough. There's freezing spray turning to slush on our oilskins. And we knew that if the wind blew any harder, we would be accumulating ice faster than we could knock it off. And that we would probably capsize. So it was an incredibly sobering night. We worked like dogs, breaking the ice off the pots, the rigging, the anchor winch, and shoveling it over the side just to lower our center of gravity. So we crept in to this place called Katala, just a little bit of shelter next to an abandoned town. And you could not imagine a more bleaker or remote spot. We were probably 75 miles from the nearest human being. And then we anchored, and we opened our hatch covers, and we knocked the ice off the pots, and we put as many of those pots down into our holds as we could, just to reduce our center of gravity and make us more stable. We took the remaining pots, we put them flat on the deck, then we lowered our boom, all the way down to the rail and lashed it to make us more stable. This is what the deck looked like. And still, we iced up really badly on our way to Dutch Harbor. But that night off of Cape St. Elias was probably the most frightening of my entire life.